The movie kicks off inside the brutal underground fight scene of Thailand, where survival depends on how much pain you can endure or ignore. At the beginning of the story, we see a boxer named Billy who is extremely agile and dangerously aggressive. Every boxer is afraid of him because whenever he fights, he completely loses control and becomes determined to kill his opponent. That is why no one is willing to mess with him. Billy is not afraid of any fighter. During a fight, he goes completely insane, and no matter how much his opponent hits him, he feels absolutely no pain. But there is a reason behind this. The reason is that before every fight, Billy takes drugs. That is why he does not feel pain, and during the fight, he loses control and brutally destroys his opponent. Today, Billy has another fight, and just like always, he takes drugs before stepping into the ring. However, this time he is going up against the most dangerous fighter in Thailand. Because of this, he takes an even heavier overdose than usual. After that, he enters the ring, and his fight begins against the Thai boxer. In the beginning, Billy performs very well, but after some time, because of the drug overdose, he starts feeling dizzy. Now his opponent gets the opportunity. The Thai fighter brutally beats Billy, hitting him so badly that blood starts pouring from his face, and the Thai boxer wins the match. After losing, Billy becomes extremely angry and starts taking even more drugs. Here we learn that although Billy is American, he lives in Thailand. He not only consumes drugs himself, but also deals them. Because of this, the police are after him. One morning when he wakes up, the police raid his room. They find a large amount of drugs and a weapon in his possession. After that, the police arrest Billy, and for possessing a huge quantity of drugs and an illegal weapon, he is sentenced to 3 years in one of Thailand's most dangerous prisons. This prison houses inmates who have been sentenced to death or life imprisonment. The prisoners here often harass newcomers and those weaker than them. The worst part for Billy is that he is the only white prisoner in the entire jail. After arriving at the prison, Billy is thoroughly searched. Once the checking is done, all the new prisoners are made to sit in a line, and the warden explains the prison rules to them. He warns that if anyone breaks the rules, they will be beaten mercilessly. After that, Billy is locked inside a cell. Because the prison is small, too many prisoners have been crammed into each cell. At night, all the inmates have to sleep pressed tightly against each other. During the night, Billy notices that the prisoner lying next to him has died. Seeing this, Billy becomes extremely terrified. The next morning, when Billy goes toward the washroom, he starts vomiting after seeing its condition because it is in a horrible state. Billy feels extremely disturbed. He wonders what kind of place he has gotten trapped in, because here prisoners do not live like humans, but like animals. At the same time, since he is addicted to drugs, his condition begins to worsen severely. When Billy goes to fill water, he sees prisoners climbing over one another just to reach the water tap. Somehow, Billy manages to fill his bottle, but during the chaos, he accidentally pushes another prisoner. That prisoner becomes furious and starts beating Billy. At that moment, Billy realizes that if he does not fight back today, these people will think he is weak and beat him every single day. So Billy shows them his true face and brutally beats the prisoner who tried to attack him. To stop the fight, guards arrive and capture both Billy and the other prisoner. Although the other prisoner started the fight, all the inmates testify against Billy. As punishment, Billy is locked in a small, solitary confinement cell for a few days. The solitary cell is extremely tiny. A prisoner cannot lie down or even sit properly inside it. At night, Billy has to sleep in the same cramped position, and during the day, when sunlight hits the cell, it becomes as hot as a furnace. Living there, Billy's condition deteriorates badly, and he does not understand when he will be freed from this hellish life. After a few days, Billy is taken out of solitary confinement and shifted to another area where 70 prisoners live together. The people he is now surrounded by cannot even be called human. Calling them that would be an insult to humanity. They are the most dangerous inmates in the prison, and the leader of this gang is a man named King. King is extremely dangerous, and no prisoner dares to disobey him. King calls Billy over, makes him sit in front of him, and asks who he is and how he ended up there. Billy tells him that he is a boxer and came to prison because of a drug case. When King learns that Billy is a boxer, he orders him to do push-ups. Billy understands that if he refuses, they will beat him badly. So he silently starts doing push-ups in front of King. After finishing, some prisoners begin teasing him, but Billy does not say anything because he is alone here. When these dangerous inmates find out that Billy has quit drugs, they start giving him drugs for free and turn him into an addict again. After many days of taking drugs, Billy develops severe stomach pain. He asks an officer for some painkillers, but the officer refuses to give him even free medicine and instead demands money from Billy, simply because he is white. Seeing this, Billy becomes furious and attacks the officer, beating him brutally. He even lifts and throws 2 guards who are present there. During the chaos, Billy completely loses control and bites the officer on the neck, causing blood to gush out. When more guards arrive, they beat Billy mercilessly until he loses consciousness. After he faints, they carry him on a stretcher and lock him in another cell. The guards have beaten him so badly that he remains unconscious for several days. When he finally regains consciousness, he sees a girl applying ointment to his wounds. She takes care of him until he fully recovers. When Billy becomes completely fine, he is taken out of the cell. But this time, chains are tied around his feet because the guards now know that Billy is not an ordinary man, but a dangerous boxer who can harm anyone. The guards place him back in the cell with those brutal inmates. Meanwhile, Billy notices that all the prisoners are standing near the bars, shouting. When he goes there, he sees 3 girls, and among them is the same girl who had treated his wounds. Billy learns that her name is Fame, and she works in the prison canteen. As soon as he finds this out, Billy goes directly to the canteen to thank her for helping him. While talking, the two of them become friends, and Billy asks her for some cigarettes on credit. Fame gives him a pack of cigarettes, but tells him that he will have to repay her soon. Billy assures her not to worry and says that he is a man of his word. After saying this, he leaves and gives the pack of cigarettes directly to the gang leader, King, so that his men will not trouble him. Since Billy is a drug addict, he manages to convince a policeman to bring drugs for him in exchange for money, and he continues taking drugs even inside the prison. One night, while everyone is asleep, King's men remove the blades from the room's fans and enter a nearby cell, killing several prisoners. Soon after, the emergency alarm rings throughout the prison and all the inmates are taken outside. The guards search everyone to find out who has weapons, but they do not find anything. However, when they check Billy's clothes, they discover drugs hidden inside his shirt. The gang leader King had secretly placed the drugs inside Billy's shirt to save himself. Because drugs are found in Billy's shirt, the guards arrest him and ask where the drugs came from. Billy insists that the drugs are not his, but the guard refuses to listen. The guard says that, since the shirt belongs to him, he must have hidden the drugs. Hearing this, Billy immediately puts on the shirt, which turns out to be too large for him. The guards also notice that the clothes do not fit him properly and realize that they are not Billy's. Billy knows that the shirt actually belongs to King, but he does not tell the guards anything because he understands that if he reveals the truth, King will never spare him. But while checking the clothes, the guards catch the real culprit, King, and beat him badly until he confesses the truth. While the guards are beating King, his screams are played through loudspeakers so all the prisoners can hear them. Hearing this, all the inmates become extremely scared, but Billy is happy because the one who tried to frame him has now been trapped himself. After that, Billy goes straight to the officer from whom he used to get drugs. But today, the officer refuses to give him drugs. He tells Billy that he will only give him drugs on one condition: if Billy brutally beats up 2 cooks working in the kitchen. Billy does not want to do this, but because of his craving for drugs, he attacks the 2 cooks and beats them very badly. However, after attacking them, when Billy hears their painful screams, he feels terrible and realizes that he has done something very wrong. As he leaves the kitchen, the officer tries to give him the drugs, but Billy walks away without taking them. After beating 2 innocent people for nothing, just for drugs, Billy starts to hate himself. He is now completely broken. Because of this, Billy cuts his wrists with a blade. But before he can die, some inmates see him and tie his hands with cloth, saving his life. After a few weeks, he recovers. However, he now needs a purpose to live, so he decides to continue boxing again and quit drugs forever. Inside the prison, there is also a boxing section. When Billy sees the boxing ring, he feels very happy. But as soon as he tries to enter, the boxing coach comes and shuts the door behind him, telling him to leave. The coach knows that Billy does not listen to anyone, loses control during fights, and is still addicted to drugs. Therefore, he refuses to train him. Disappointed, Billy returns to his cell. That night, when he goes to the toilet, he sees some gang members abusing a newly arrived prisoner. When they notice Billy, they grab him and threaten him with a blade, warning that if he tells anyone, they will kill him. The next day, the boy who was abused is found dead. He has taken his own life. Later, the police remove his body. An officer even asks Billy why the boy hanged himself, but Billy says nothing. King is watching all this and becomes pleased with Billy for staying silent. The next day, all the prisoners are playing a game where each has bet 2 cigarettes. Billy also bets 2 cigarettes and luckily win. But even after winning, the prisoners refuse to give him his cigarettes. At that moment, King supports Billy and tells the inmates to follow the rules and give Billy what he has won. Since everyone fears King, they silently hand over the cigarettes to Billy. Now Billy has many cigarettes. The first thing he does is go to Faye, the girl who had earlier lent him a pack of cigarettes. He returns all the cigarettes he owed her. Seeing his honesty, Faye becomes impressed. Billy asks her why she helped him. Faye replies that she knew he was not a bad person, and that among all the prisoners, he seemed different. Faye asks Billy why he is in prison. Billy tells her the truth, that he is there because of a drug case, and that he has a family who does not even know he is in jail. Faye feels very sad for him, and the two hug each other. We can see that they are beginning to like each other. After this, Billy goes back to the boxing coach. He gives him some cigarettes and says that until now, he has been living a meaningless life. But if the coach trains him, he promises to quit drugs and all his bad habits and become a good boxer again. Hearing this, the coach feels sympathy for Billy and decides to train him to help him become a better man. Now Billy practices every day with full dedication. The other prisoners are amazed by his punching style and start respecting him. The coach also teaches him new punching techniques and arranges a fight for practice. At first, Billy gets beaten, but in the end, he defeats the fighter. Days pass, and Billy keeps improving. One day, the coach arranges a match between Billy and the most dangerous boxer in the prison. Even the prison warden comes to watch. The fight is intense and goes up to the third round. The opponent refuses to give up and fights strongly, but in the end, Billy lands a powerful punch and knocks him out. The warden is very impressed with Billy's fighting skills and calls him to his office. He tells Billy that Thailand's national boxing tournament is coming soon and wants Billy to participate because he is a good boxer. In this tournament, Billy will fight a selected fighter from across Thailand. If he wins, he will earn a lot of money and a title. Hearing this, Billy immediately agrees. After that, the warden gives him a letter. It is from Billy's father. In the letter, his father writes that he has been searching for Billy for a long time. After reading it, Billy becomes very emotional and now desperately wants to meet his family. The warden transfers Billy to another cell away from the dangerous inmates so he can practice properly. The prisoners in this new cell are kind and help him in boxing practice. When Billy goes back to his old cell to collect his belongings, the gang members stare at him with jealousy. King does not want Billy to be free. He wants Billy to serve him like the other prisoner. Life in the new cell is much better. No one troubles Billy, and the inmates motivate him. But Billy knows they are helping him only because they want him to win the boxing match. If he loses, they will throw him back into the brutal cell. So Billy practices even harder and becomes famous throughout the prison for his boxing skills. One day, Billy goes to the canteen to meet Faye, but there he sees her romantically involved with another man. Seeing this, Billy becomes furious and starts shouting at her. Faye tries to explain, but Billy refuses to listen and even tries to attack her. Billy realizes that Fame is betraying him. Heartbroken, he walks away and starts taking drugs again. He cannot stop thinking about Fame, and because of this, he is unable to focus on his training. During practice, he even tells his sparring partner to hit him hard. When the opponent refuses, Billy loses control and starts beating him badly, leaving his own teammates severely injured. Seeing his behavior, the police officers throw Billy back into his cell. However, Billy's anger still does not calm down. As days pass, he realizes that this anger is destroying him, so he starts practicing boxing again inside his cell. After a few days, the guards release him, and he goes to meet his fellow inmates. The prisoner he had beaten earlier is also there. All of them are angry with Billy, but he apologizes and says he was not in his senses that day. They forgive him and start training him again. One night, Billy sees his ex-girlfriend, Faye. He smiles at her because now he understands that this is not his real world. His real place is back home, where his family's waiting for him. One day when Billy goes toward the washroom, King's men grab him. King demands money because when Billy was with them, they gave him drugs for free. Now King wants payment. Billy says he has no money. Hearing this, King becomes furious. He takes out blood from his own body with a syringe and tries to inject it into Billy. King is suffering from AIDS and wants to infect Billy as well. Before the injection, Billy promises King that after winning the boxing match, he will give him whatever money he earns. Hearing this, King lets him go. Now Billy understands that he must win the match at any cost. If he loses, the warden will send him back to the brutal cell, and without money to repay King, he will be killed. So Billy begins training even harder, but soon something happens that he was not prepared for. One day during practice, Billy feels severe pain in his stomach. He tells no one and goes to the toilet, where he starts vomiting blood. In a half-dead condition, he collapses there. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself in a hospital. The doctor tells Billy that because of drug overdose and boxing, he has developed a hernia. His internal stomach walls have weakened, and whenever he lifts something heavy, he may vomit blood. The doctor warns him to quit drugs and boxing forever, or he could die. But Billy is determined to win the boxing match at any cost. Ignoring his health, he continues to train. Finally, the day of the national Thailand boxing match arrives. Billy is taken in a truck to the venue. Big boxing organizers from across Thailand are present. Soon, Billy faces his opponent, and the fight begins. The opponent is Thailand's best boxer. In the first round, Billy dominates him, but the other boxer refuses to give up and cleverly studies Billy's weakness. The second round ends intensely, and the third round begins. Early in the third round, the opponent knocks Billy down and kicks him hard in the stomach. Billy is in extreme pain. Realizing Billy's weakness, the opponent keeps attacking his stomach. The third round ends, and everyone believes Billy will lose in the fourth round. When the fourth round starts, the opponent attacks aggressively. Billy mostly defends himself at first. After protecting himself for a while, he notices that his opponent is getting tired. Suddenly, Billy attacks with full force and strikes him with a powerful elbow. The opponent collapses unconscious. Billy becomes the Thailand national boxing champion. The crowd stands and applauds. Even the warden claps proudly because Billy represented his prison. Although Billy wins, his condition becomes critical. He sees the crowd and his coach celebrating happily. Suddenly, he vomits blood and collapses unconscious. When he wakes up, he is in a hospital room alone. There are no guards around. Billy realizes this could be his chance to escape. He quietly walks out of the hospital. Feeling the fresh air after years in prison makes him feel alive. He walks far and reaches a railway station. He could run away, but then he changes his mind. He does not want to spend his whole life running from the police, so he returns to the hospital and sits back on the stretcher. After fully recovering, Billy is sent back to prison. After completing his 3-year sentence in Thailand, the warden transfers him to a prison in the UK. There, Billy's father comes to meet him, and we learn that this story is based on the real-life story of Billy Moore. This movie is based on Billy Moore's true story. He published his life story in a book, which became famous worldwide. Today, Billy Moore runs a foundation that helps people who are addicted to drugs. And with that, the story ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video.